pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 9, 2024. The time being 5:30. This is a meeting of the Greensburg Board of Works, and it's called to order. Place on all electronic devices to comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that's available on the table in the back of the room. We do need to amend the agenda to hear from Superintendent Zeke Smith about purchasing a pickup truck. I would like to put that right after the YMCA. The youth council members are running a few minutes late, so that'll buy us some time with them.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made by Jamie.
Second.
Second by Glenn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay. Amy, would you please call the roll?
Jamie King.
Here.
Lindsay Joe. Here. Robin Meyer.
Here.
Lynn Tebby. Mayor Joshua Marsh.
Present. You should have received a copy of the minutes from March 12th and the March 28th executive sessions. Any changes? If not, those will stand approved as presented.
So moved.
Seeing and hearing none, those will stand. Thank you very much. Mark Carmen is here with the Tree City Fall Festival for the road closures. It's hard to believe we're already talking about this, Mark.
Yes, it is. Again, Board of Works, Mayor, Tree City Fall Festival comes to you tonight to request street closures for the 2024 Tree City Fall Festival. Those dates are 9/20 and 9/21. We would request the intersection of Washington and Broadway streets at 6 p.m. on 9/19 for the setting of the stage. The streets around the courthouse square and North Broadway from Washington Street to North Street from 6 a.m. on Friday morning through midnight on Sunday morning, 9/22. Saturday morning, we would request closure of Broadway Street from Barochelle Lane to Washington Street for our parade route that is not changed in the last 600 years, I think. Lineup would begin at 8:30, and that particular closure would last only till 11:30. So, any questions? We do have a current insurance policy, and the new one should be signed on May 25th, I believe, coming up next month. Hard to believe next month is May, but and everything should be in order for that. So basically, it's the same closures we do every year.
I don't think we've had any issues with that in the past. Chiefs, you good with that?
Yes.
Perfect. Yep. The conversation obviously surrounding the Franklin Street construction project, that is with Globe Asphalt. They're our contractor on that. Obviously they haven't started work yet. I believe they're slated for May, early May to get started. They are very well aware of the Fall Festival schedule. They have a substantial completion date of September 1st as a part of their contract. That probably does not include the landscaping and final touches due to the warranty that comes with the plants. But our discussion with them, and Zach's leading that charge, is surrounding that it will be pedestrian safe and pedestrian usable by the Fall Festival for sure. It should be further along than that by then. But
I know this would be county side on the courthouse landscaping in the grass, but will that be available to set vendors on in that grass area?
yeah, so the furthest extent of the project is the street lights, which sit immediately behind the sidewalk.
Okay.
Any questions for Mark?
If the motion we approve.
Motion's been made by Jamie,
Second.
seconded by Lindsay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining?
I will abstain, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Robin serves as the president of the Fall Festival.
Yay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Great job.
Yep, thanks, Mark, to you and all of your committee that puts on such a great event for us each year.
Thank you.
Dina Hamer from the YMCA is here to talk about the Tree City Rolling Tour. Good evening.
Hi there. Good works, Mayor Marsh. Basically, we have this will be our 16th year for the Tree City Rolling Tour in Century. We have 5 different routes. We really don't close any roads. The only place we usually need police assistance is at the beginning of the event which starts at 7 a.m. Some riders may take it off before that, but, you know, it's usually not, but just a few, you know, at a time. And we travel down Washington Street and cross Lincoln. So that's where I would need the assistance for the police officers, and they have helped in the past, the 16 years. Well, we haven't been there 16 years. We've been at the courthouse, I want to say probably 10 or 11 years out of the 16 of the event. So there's no closures, and we usually have drivers that circle around to keep riders safe, and they usually have they have a first aid kit, they have water, they have snacks in case anybody would have a diabetic issue or be dehydrated or anything like that. They can be picked up. So we really don't have the closures, so we usually don't have a problem with the event. We set up on the northeast corner of the courthouse square. My issue, I guess, was I was concerned about the construction, but I had talked to the gentleman up there about that, and he kind of confirmed that it would be okay setting up on that side of the square. So.
One thing that gets brought up and that I typically hear about afterwards is the parking of the participants in the event seem to absorb a lot of the on-square parking for the event because it starts there. Do you have any plans to move that maybe to like the first financial lot, because they do leave all day, and so I know some of the merchants.
We have listed parking on the website of those various venues. And I guess, you know, I won't have to do this because of the road construction, but we were gonna put up cones along the businesses there on Franklin Street, so it didn't affect their parking for their business that day. Other than that, I mean, we put on the website that there's the south lot, the lot behind Stories, First Financial Bank, the funeral homes, if there's not a funeral. Basically, that's pretty much all the parking that we have there.
Yeah, I think maybe if that could be transferred to the Washington Street side this year with the construction project, that is something we're trying to be more vigilant on because of the construction impact and how that's going to play out. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
Any other questions from the YMCA? I'm not sure that you don't have a request for road closure. It's a little bit more of the support staff. Chief, you okay with that for a couple hours?
Yeah, last year we had a little bit of staffing issue. We ended up utilizing our paid crossing guard that we utilized at the schools. So if we come into that again, I'm sure he would step up to the plate again. He's really good about that.
I'll set a motion to approve.
Motion made by Lindsay, second by Robin. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very
Yep,
much.
good luck.
Thank you.
Superintendent Smith. Request to purchase a truck.
Yes. Evening Board, Mayor, thank you for allowing me to present these on late notice. We're replacing one of our fleet trucks. We've got a couple trucks that are kind of dated down there. One is an 04, one's an 07. So we'll plan on purchasing another one of these probably early next year. So what's going to happen recently with the 04 is we've had a couple issues with just it kind of showing its age. We've had a release hitch rod off the back of the frame recently, as well as one of the shocks. Mounts that's on the frame rust off literally and blow the lower mount off of the body. So looking to get that guy kind of out of our fleet and work into a new one. So in front of you is a few quotes that I just recently got. One of those is from Donmeyer Ford. This truck is kind of apples to apples quote from each dealership. The first quote comes in from Donmeyer Ford at $66,345. The second quote will be from Rick Aker Automotive at $63,845, and then the final quote would be from Fleetwood Chevy for $62,528. That truck is currently available and on the lot there at Fleetwood Chevy. So, with that being said, with it being available as well as the lowest quote, I would recommend to the board that we purchase that.
Is there money for that in the budget?
Yeah, is in the budget.
questions for Zeke? If not, take a motion to approve the purchase.
Make a motion, we approve the truck from Fleetwood Chevrolet for purchase.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jamie, seconded by Glenn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. While we're on this topic, the one that you currently have, is it in salvageable condition, or should we move it to scrap?
It is, we're gonna hang on to it for a minute. We can maybe use some of its parts for one of the other trucks. So we're hoping to, if we have to juggle something around, we have the ability to. So we won't move it away immediately, but we do plan on getting it out of the fleet at some point, yeah. So,
Okay, thank you.
do you want me to do the other now, or do you want me to wait until the?
No, we didn't move it on the agenda. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay,
See you again in a few.
yeah,
Thank you.
don't leave. The Mayor's Youth Council, Brinley and Declan are here to talk about an event they're having that's coming up. We have a PowerPoint too. Good evening, you two.
Good evening, thanks for allowing us to be here. My name is Brinley Jameson, I'm the president of the Mayor's Youth Council.
And my name is Declan Bruns, and I'm the treasurer of the Mayor's Youth Council.
So here's a little history about our council. We came to you guys last year around this time for our North Park project. So our council was established in 2021 to be an active youth leaders in our community and be a change for betterment in the future. And our mission statement is Greensburg's future unfolding. And our goal is to just bring ages of all together and get the youth involved in what our community is doing. So some of our past involvements and events are we've done trivia night every other month, and this Saturday we're actually hosting our first Greensburg's Got Talent, so we can bring in some new talent and show that off. We've also done the North Park project and bottle cap collecting and plastic sorting for benches to reuse that plastic to go at our North Park project, which will be finishing up here in a couple months. So we are coming here with our new event, hopefully this summer with your guys' approval.
Alright, so our council has been doing a variety of small events as our huge North project is finishing up, and we have started brainstorming for our next upcoming year. And one of the events we hope to do this summer is a color run 5K. Our 5K would include the color run, a live DJ, and some snacks and water and different types of beverages for that. And it's welcome for all ages, and we have different types of things planned for families and all kinds of things for that.
So we are here tonight to ask you guys for some street closures for a safe color run for this family event. We have two routes planned, so we'll present them both and then get you guys' feedback. Our first and most preferred route option is one that starts at Rebecca Park and crosses at the walking path where East Central Avenue is, and takes the city walking path all the way up to between Greensburg High School softball roads and in between Montgomery, till it tees at Big Blue Lane and Montgomery, and take Big Blue Lane all the way down to East Central Avenue, and then cross and take East Central back, and do that two times through for a loop of 3.1 miles to complete the 5K. So starting and ending at Rebecca Park. So just the roads we would use there are East Central Avenue, East Lehman Way, Big Blue Lane, and Rebecca Park access roads, and the city trails.
So then that was our first one, and then our second one, which we aren't as confident about, that's why we for the first one, we have for you tonight, and it's slightly different than the first, and it will also start at Rebecca Park, and then you will take the park access road that connects North County Road 80 to East Central. You'll take that up, and then you'll kind of go down Central there until you hit the kind of that road that leads to the back way to the high school that goes along the walking trail there, and then you'll get onto the walking trails there, and you'll go all the way up and around until you hit Big Blue up there by where that B is at, up there in the left-hand corner, and then you'll go down and you'll hit East Lehman Way, which then goes over, and then you'll go down a road which just connects that East Lehman Way to the Greensburg High School parking lot. And then you'll take a right there, and then you'll go down to Big Blue, go down Big Blue, go down, then turn off of Big Blue, go straight over. It's a pretty straightforward path over to the walking trail. Then you'll go down the walking trail, and you'll end up back at Rebecca Park. And that route also closes East Central, East Lehman, Big Blue, the Rebecca Park access road there, and it will need to have access closed to the Greensburg High School property.
So like we said, everything starts and ends at Rebecca Park. This will be where our registration is. Hopefully a DJ to just make that a full welcoming event and some fun before and after, and then where snacks and water will be after. But that will be our prime location is based off of Rebecca Park.
And then our timing for this 5K, registration will start about 9 a.m. and then we will line up to start about 10, around about then. And then the 5K will start at about 10:15 to give people time to get in line and get all situated before it starts. And then all festivities, DJ, everything ends at 12 p.m. that day.
Do you have a date in mind?
June 15th.
June 15th.
Yes. And then just with our goals of this event, it's just to create a family fun event, a gathering of community members, and just have a fun, happy and healthy day on a summer morning before some other community activities take place that night. We are open to any questions.
So just to clarify, the first route is, it's the blue dotted route, is that correct?
Yes, I would pull it right back up. Yes, it will take the dark blue and connect to light blue.
Okay, okay. I agree, I think that one looks
Just
better.
the easier blue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of 5Ks try and raise dollars. Are you looking at raising dollars for a specific project or for support of your events that you're gonna do that day, or what's your plan?
Yes, we look to getting sponsorships to host the event, but it's not our main focus to gather money for specific events, but that would be a nice outcome. The main focus is just an event to host this event. But any profits would be looking at events.
Is that something we've talked to the school about? Are they okay with us doing this?
So that's where I was gonna get with this too. So our approval would really probably be more of a use of facility in the sense of the trail, maybe. But it would really be about East Central, the stretch of East Central, and then a request would have to go to the school board for use of, technically Big Blue Avenue is a private street. It isn't regarded as a private street as it's not gated or anything. They're typically pretty good about usership with that. Officer Bridges could probably help you with that too. I wouldn't see this being as much of an issue with them. If it is an issue for some reason, we could have the discussion about going over to Davison and down.
Yeah, we are in open communication with Greensburg High School right now in their school.
Are you running to their meeting immediately following this one?
Not right now.
Okay, yeah. I think that would be what our approval would be. On June 15th is also Main Street's Friends of Fred Food Truck Festival. That is at Rebecca Park that evening, along with one of the summer concert series hosted by Visit Greensburg and the Decatur County Arts Council. So it would be a full day of activity at Rebecca Park between Color Run and the concert, and so 3 organizations from the community using the facility all on the same day.
Sunscreen would be a good thing if you're gonna be out there all day, just
Is that a shot at my sunburn?
just making a statement.
Wow.
I don't know, police chief, fire chief, you guys have any issues with that Route 1 that they've got up there? Any concerns, timing?
I would say we're experts in this field, in this exact location, so I think, I'll speak for both of us and think we're good with this layout.
No
yeah.
problem, yeah, if you guys close it, we'll do what we need to.
Do you know where you would be doing the color?
Not exact right now. We'll have 6 different locations of colors spread out through that.
And definitely just one at like Rebecca Park towards the end.
Okay, so we will probably wash that down, or probably be the ones to wash that down, so we would, if we could keep it on public streets, central, things like that, that the fire department could obviously have access anywhere, but that we could use, that might help the school as well. And if not, you can assure them that we will be there with our trucks to take care of any of that color that needs to be washed away.
And the chalk we looked at is made specifically for this to be washed out within first water contact or rain and skins it.
So I'm gonna show my ignorance here. I wondered why it was called color, so tell me what this is involved. And I hear what you're saying, and that's news to me. Yeah, so they're just spraying color on people as they run through it, is that?
You're the grand marshal,
No,
at
I'm,
Glen.
yeah, thank you.
You will be leading the race.
I'm ready to become a rainbow, I guess.
If anyone has familiar, the 4-H council did this a few years ago, it's kind of the same. But I'll have Declan go ahead.
Yeah, so essentially, everyone will have like, because we're having a package where it includes a white t-shirt to come with it, or you can bring your own, and they're typically white to see the color, and it's chalk, and people will line up, and when you run through, then you'll throw it at the people, and it'll stay on the t-shirts, and it's mainly just something fun to do to,
Instead of just running, you
Yeah.
can run and chalk something
Yeah.
with them.
One question I do have, is there any issue, because we have the water pad out at Rebecca Park, and I can just see some people kind of going in and out of that. Is there an issue with any of that?
Taking a shower there?
Yes. Or is there any damage that could be done or anything like that?
I don't believe so, because the chalk we were looking at is made to be run down a drain, made to be washed off in the washing machine from your clothes. So it's totally safe. As far as we know with skin, with the drains, not totally confident, but I would say pretty safe bet that it's pretty safe for that.
And we could also go extra as posting signage of please do not use this facility if you start chalk or something like that, so we don't risk damaging.
If not, Lindsay, we can make sure that we cover all bases before the concert that night and get the property. It might be damp or wet, but we can get it clean before.
And the mayor's and council members are ready to go around and set everything up and clean up as well, because water cups and all that stuff might get thrown, but we'll have plenty of disposable people can throw stuff. Any further questions?
If not, we take a motion to approve the Central Avenue and use of facility.
That's
what I figured. Motion's been made by Glenn, seconded by Jamie. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks, appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Okay, for some reason, my cord doesn't show up on this side over here, so I've got a quick update this evening from Veritas. There's been a lot of work happening out at the site. If you haven't been out there or haven't driven by recently, a lot of concrete's being poured. The road base is going in. There is some road work that the chief's gonna touch on about sort of the squeeze down of Broadway as they start making the XL lane approaches. You can start to see the parking's going in. The curbs are in for all of that as well. The concrete apron is there in the photo. I don't think I have a drone video tonight. I don't think they got it to upload in time. But the fiberboard is also going up. The stone is up. Hard ceiling is in. We'll see a photo of that in the next slide. Paint has already been happening. HVAC units are in. Duct work is being installed and is pretty far along, really. A couple items that are on our watch list is the generator. That's the 1st of July. We've always known that. The overhead doors keep kind of getting kicked a little bit here and there. The other item is we are having some issues with the precast concrete stone. So the manufacturer's been here a couple times. We've talked to the architect a couple times. We've talked to their salespeople a couple times. So we're attempting to remedy that in the meantime, but it's also starting to add a little bit of delay to that project, part of the project. Is that fair, Chief?
Yes.
Fair assessment. Inside, the picture on the left is the front main hallway. When you come into the station, this is where administration spaces will be. The photo on the right is the upstairs day room or living room. In the very far back right's the kitchen. You can start to see it's starting to come together where lights and other mechanical pieces will finally fall. Chief, anything from your side before we move on to the next project?
No, the outdoor there is the kitchen area, and then you see some light coming through. That is the door to the outdoor patio. which is the area that the cedar is over when you see it on the aerial photos.
Street is also coming along really nicely. We'll see in the next photo that floors are, some floors are in, cabinets are in, paint's up. They're making really nice progress. A lot of site work yet to do, but overall it's starting to come along. Punch list is tomorrow, right, Mark?
Yes,
There's Mark.
tomorrow, 10 a.m.
Okay. So that'll be good. It's a pretty high level punch. It's not like a finished walkthrough punch, but it's to get us started in that process as well. Interior photos. The photo on the left is the main hallway. The door at the very back is the public entrance to the space. So floors are in, paint's up, cabinets, fixtures, etc. Furniture is slated for middle of May for both facilities, so that is coming along. The space on the right is in the maintenance garage. You can see the mezzanine that's above the administrative space, break room, locker rooms, etc. are in there. Mark, anything else from your side of the project?
No, they're getting along very well on site work. They've almost got finished grading. I think they're just waiting for the asphalt place to get up as they continue the stone subgrade treatment. Interior today, they were washing, scrubbing floors, and I think they're gonna seal parts there later this week, and then deal with some of the punch list items.
Our original GMP is still, I want to be sure that we emphasize this point each month going forward. The original project is well within budget, time, and scope. We've added those other items that we've talked about over the last 2 months, so that's changed our GMP. It's not a budgetary item, it's an addition item as we've talked about through the council. We do remain on schedule for late May, move in June. I've been getting some questions about open houses and when that'll be. We will start to schedule those hopefully once we know a little bit more about the final push out timeline. It's my intention, I'll say it, but it's my intention to get those in before the fair, to have the open houses before the fair. So we'll see if we can stick to that. We want to have both campuses, we want to have both facilities at the same time, so that we can invite everybody out for kind of one big day and 2 big celebrations. So, I don't have a video. Nate, do you want to come up and talk about the Broadway component real quick, please?
Yeah, so if you've driven by, you've noticed that the exterior fencing is down on the northern area of the facility where the fire station is, and that is in preparation of basically the decel lane coming off of South Broadway into the facility. After much discussion with Schutte Contracting and Meyer Najum, we had asked if there was any road closures needed because they will begin to create that lane, and so moving that fence was part of it. They have basically asked and been stated that over a 3-week time period, as long as weather permits, they will encroach 3 feet into the roadway with barrels to safely work on creating this decel lane. So there will be bringing you a road closure unless something changes. But we do feel that it is a topic of importance to bring to the board, that there will be, obviously because of South Broadway being used by a magnitude of semi-trucks going to and from KB, with that section of Broadway being bolstered a little bit for that heavy-duty traffic, that this potential issue, I guess, could rise to a level of that. If we hear complaints or if there is an issue, then the city and the contractors itself are going to step in and request either some type of flag or signaling, or kind of escalate our necessary road control, if that is. But we've been told it should take about 3 weeks. So if we can get past this rain spell and move forward within the next week after this period of rain, I think within the next week and a half, they'll be starting on that. So we'll be getting into that. They're going to start on the road, or on the yard side first, do as much work as they can before they actually encroach into the roadway itself. And that is Schutte Excavating will be doing the work, who's obviously been doing all of our site civil, but they still will be overseen by the Meyer Najum team. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have or defer until I can get an answer. But that was the latest that we did. But obviously, we'll be watching it carefully because of the South Broadway issue.
I got a question for you. I'm not a construction guy, but what's the difference in the garage doors that we're waiting on for your place and the ones that are on?
So our front ones are bifolds. So if you would just do a quick search on bifold fire doors, they open like an accordion. And they are made in panels and then put together. And it's the insulation apparently that goes in between the panels that's the slowdown. The 4 doors that are in back are just like March doors, except red, and there's no problem with those. So I just spoke to the Director of Operations for Meyer Nation today out on site, and they're tracking that down weekly to kind of hold their feet to the fire. So it's an integral part of getting the floors and everything else done in the apparatus bay. But if you would search that, you would see that there is a difference. These are basically an accordion. They call them bifolds, but they're like an accordion style door. All right?
Thanks. Chief McNeely.
Evening, Board. First thing I'm going to talk to you about is going to be some landscaping estimates that we received. We put a request out for landscaping bids. Just contacted 4 local landscapers and actually contacted 5. We never heard back from one. Talked to 4 of them. We gave them all 4 the same information of what we wanted, what we were looking for to do to the police department. The simple part is we're simplifying everything, getting rid of a lot of vegetation and going a lot to rock. It's just less that has to be taken care of. Gives it a cleaner look. We don't have to worry about the height of the bushes. There's some concern with height of the bushes with the guys coming out. I mean, we're all a little paranoid after doing this job a little bit, so always concerned when the bushes get too tall, but what's lurking in the shadows. So we provided that information to the companies, got back these 4 quotes. The first one I think is, I should have numbered it, I'm really sorry about that. Is it number 2 from, we have 2 from one company. Yeah. So the first one is quote number 2 from the company that has 2 quotes there. And again, they all are just replacing a lot of river rock that's about 20 years old. It's very dirty, it doesn't look well, it's starting to break down. The weed fabric underneath is broken through. We've had some landscaping done between that 20-year period when the building was built and now, and so we're getting a lot of encroachment of weeds and stuff like that. So we just need a good refresh. Also leveling out the dirt underneath. It wasn't done real well that we could tell, so we're getting a lot of unlevelness in there as well. We received some complaints from people that were coming to the police department that they can't see the building. So we went out and looked at it, and there is quite a bit of bushes and trees that are in the way, and that was another reason that we decided to get rid of some of the vegetation that is blocking the view a little.
Do you have one of these that you prefer?
Yeah, in looking at them, I think that the one on top that I handed you, which is quote number 2 from the company that has 2, would be the one that I would go with. It's not the cheapest bid, and it's not the most expensive bid.
One for $14,056.70,
Yes.
or is that?
Oh, I'm
There's
sorry.
one for $12,000.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
581.
Quote number 1 from them, 14,056.
14,000 or 12?
14.
14, okay.
What's the difference in those 2?
Replacing, so the 12 is more vegetation, the 14 is just more rock, more large rock, landscaping rock.
Significant difference between the 3 different companies. 2 of them are closer, but in terms of budgeting, this was in our,
Yeah, budgeted item, what's that called? Capital improvement. Part of my capital improvement plan, I have enough money to cover that in that budget line.
CIP?
CIP.
I haven't taken any time to, I haven't had the opportunity to grace that place too often, so I haven't really paid any attention to what it looks like on the outside or around the sides.
That's a good thing. Part of our painting project that we just did was updating the lettering outside and it all faded out. So we did that, and actually we've had some people notice it, so that was good.
And I can see that, you know, you do have to have upgrades or changes as landscaping it becomes mature and we need to make some changes with things, so I have no objection to making this change. It's just that I hadn't expected it, I suppose.
Sure.
I hadn't heard about it. But if the budget's there and you had made plans for it, apparently, so if you're satisfied with what they've proposed, then I don't have any objection myself. I know my colleagues think about it, but that's my initial thought.
Chief, I assume all people that bid on it were given the same information to consider, given the same opportunities to talk with you or your staff about what you wanted out of it to make sure that they were comparable.
Yeah, Captain Fowles not back here, did some time in the landscaping world, so he met with all the landscaping companies and presented the same information to them, that we wanted a quote with little vegetation, quote with less vegetation, a little bit more large rock, and that's what they all came up with.
Any other questions for the chief? If not, we'd entertain a motion to approve quote number 1 from Off Duty Lawn Care.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Jamie,
Second?
second by Lindsay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Second item I'm here to talk to you about tonight is disposition of police cars. You should have received a letter from me in your packet talking about this. We have 4 cars we'd like to utilize against trade-in for a new car purchase from John Jones Auto Group. We purchased from them before, worked well with them. The 4 cars are a 2017 Ford Utility, a 2015 Ford Utility, and 2 2015 Ford sedans. You can see on there the amounts that they quoted giving us. That is pretty much in line with a used police car. Used police cars don't bring a lot of value just because they get run pretty hard in their lifetime.
I don't see that.
I don't see that in my packet either.
Oh, well, I apologize. I luckily brought more copies.
You can share, yeah.
How do those costs compare when we do like blind bids for vehicles compared to what we've got in the past? I'm just wondering, is it,
I'm trying to think, the last blind bid we did wasn't a police car, it was a different car. Yeah, it wasn't much.
I don't even know would it have been Allen's old?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we swapped that.
Yeah, it would have been Inspector Campbell's old Charger that was a PD Charger handed down to fire and then.
I guess I was just trying to see how it compared to those, because I agree, it's not a lot, but if, you know, I mean, would we be better served to put them out there and take bids on them versus trade them in for that, right? So that's what I'm asking.
Have we already ordered the new ones have already been ordered, I know that, but.
Yeah, it's sitting on the lot with our name on it, it's just waiting on us to come down and sign the paperwork, and I didn't want to do that until I knew that if we were gonna be able to do this or not, just to help offset that amount.
And why do we have, so we're trading in, trading in 4
Yes.
that are either not used now or have been here for a little bit, not being used.
Currently, yes.
And all we need is 1.
Yes, I've already replaced, well, there's 1 sitting out there still now. I already replaced 4. So I have 3 of the Ford Utilities, and then now this will be the last one. This officer specifically asked if he could have a Charger, and I don't have any problem with that.
That's where I was confused,
Yeah.
because thinking all of a sudden
Yeah.
I didn't realize we
Understand.
had gotten the other three.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay.
Part of the problem with the police car market is we have to order them and then they take forever. And then when we get them, it takes forever to get the lights and sirens and striping done.
Yeah.
So we haven't been in the habit of getting rid of the old ones until the new ones are in the fleet and usable. This one's been sitting here for 2 months waiting on lights and sirens.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to get rid of the police car that's in use until
Right.
that one's ready to go.
And they do ask, I think I put in there, they do ask that the emergency lighting, the siren, and striping be left on at John Jones, but they only deal in police cars. So what they do is they take the personalization off, so they'll take Greensburg off, probably leave police on it, and use that as part of the trade-in.
The last two vehicles that we have put out for bid have each brought in about 3,000 exactly.
Is there any, and usually in doing that, we're gonna remove sirens, lights, and is there any use for that equipment?
No, the way they change models anymore, by the time we are ready to replace a new one, a lot of that equipment doesn't fit in. We could probably reuse like a siren control box, but that's, when you're talking about one siren control box, it's not compared to the entire project.
Maybe it's not worth the hassle then, based on that, I don't know.
I would agree with that.
If we also have 3 sitting out there, it's likely to bring less per unit.
Exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would move approval of trading in the 4 identified vehicles in your letter here.
Yeah, I'll second.
Motion's been made to trade in with Glenn and second by Robin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Perfect.
And then the second part of that letter at the bottom, we have one other car that John Jones was not interested in. It's a 2014, thank you. 2014 Dodge, or Ford utility. It was an old K9 car. All the equipment has been already stripped out of that because the K9 cage and stuff, we were able to strip that out, put it into another unit when that one was retired. John Jones was not interested in that. Our Greensburg, Decatur County IT department heard about that. They've been looking for a vehicle, been talking to the county about getting a vehicle. So when they heard we had one available, they asked about maybe possibly see if they could purchase half of that vehicle. So what I did was I took the amounts that John Jones was willing to give us for the 4 that we're trading in, used that as a median, divided it in half because they're a half funded city and a half funded county agency. And then they would purchase that vehicle for half the cost, and that would be county funds only coming back to the city. Because we would have already given that money ahead of time. And Josh Stressler's here with Decatur County Greensburg IT. If you have any questions for him, they do utilize it for moving equipment around. One of the things they struggle with is if they have a $50,000 server, they don't really want to put that in their personal vehicle, drive it across town. If something happens to it, that goes on their personal insurance, so they're looking for something that is municipal owned.
Because the IT department is technically housed under county, the vehicle would become the responsibility of the county.
Correct.
And they're purchasing from us.
For point of clarification, they're going to own the vehicle.
Yes.
I'll move we approve the selling the vehicle to the IT department.
Second.
Motion's been made by Robin, seconded by Lindsay. All those in favor sing aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Board.
Okay, Chief Sturmer, authorization to hire.
During the executive session, we've obviously interviewed candidates for our one open position to bring us back to full staff of the fire department. And so with that, having completed those interviews and coming up with a candidate that we agreed on, we'd like to go ahead and offer that conditional offer to that individual so we can start getting him onboarded before summer and welcome him to the Greensburg Fire Department.
I think we had a great candidate. I guess what I'd like to do is make a motion to give Josh the authority to grant the conditional offer of employment after we have a meeting with fire chief leadership tomorrow night. So that way, based on that determination, if he determines that's not the right time to make that offer, then he doesn't have to do it. But we can give Josh the permission to make that offer. That'd be my recommendation, my motion.
Chief, was the idea that is there a spot open now?
There is. We have one, we are at 29. We have one open spot that we would like to fill to become full staffed moving forward. We do have a planned retirement in December, but this position is not for a list. This is actually to fill a current position right now.
Well, if the conversation with the leadership is dealing with personnel, then I would concur with you on that. It may make some difference in terms of how we proceed, but I agree. I think it's important that we get full staff as soon as practical, and so I have no reason to doubt your intention here in terms of wanting to be sure that we're not duplicating anything. So I would second your motion.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Jamie is a part of that meeting as well, so we can discuss that afterwards. Motion's been made to authorize me to have conditional hiring capability post the conversation tomorrow evening. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Zach, you've got a couple items for a street and vacation permit fee.
Good evening, Board. You'll see I've put together a summary of our street and alley vacation permit costs. I've had one of these come across my desk so far this year with two other interested parties that I've based this off of. Current fee for the permit is $100. Part of that permit cost is covering the legal ad and the mailers that have to go out to the surrounding properties. You will see that a mailing ad is currently running for $31, and then each mailer we send out is $9. So the variable cost of the permit is really dependent on how many connecting properties we run into that need to be sent out notification for the vacation. So that kind of fluctuates the price. So that's why I took 3 different properties in regards to the area of the alley and street and kind of averaged that to get a baseline of what our cost could be for each permit. By no means is the city planning to make money on permits, but we do need to cover our cost to send these out. So I propose that we raise the permit fee for the street and alley vacation to $200.
Yeah. I see what you have here. You do have, as you said, variance depending on how many properties are adjacent, how many. One example is over 200, and others in that mid-range, and the average you propose is, what you're looking at as an average is well in excess of $100.
And those costs have no man hours related to them, my time, planning commission's time, sorry, not planning commission, yeah, planning commission, traffic committee, Amy, Julie,
Right.
there's a handful of people that touch this process that have time committed each time it goes through.
Seems like a significant jump, but based on the numbers that we have here, it's not completely a question.
I'm not sure when the last time we raised it. That's the other thing.
It's been there probably for
Yeah.
as old as I am. That's a long time.
Is this, just asking Chris, maybe, is this something we should have in an ordinance form, or is this something the Board of Works can approve? I guess
I think the Board of Works can approve it because it's an internal, you're not changing the type, you're not changing the basis, you're not changing anything related to the actual fee, you're not adding a new fee or reducing, you know, the type of fee, you're just changing the value. So I think you can do this by motion.
Planning Commission did a similar thing at the end of last year, raising some of their fees.
I'll make a motion, we approve the, basically the street and alley vacation permit cost fee from $100 to $200 based on this information.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Jamie, seconded by Robin. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you. Washington Street Amendment.
You'll see HWC has sent us an amendment for design changes to Washington Street. Some of this goes back into Franklin Street also. The first item on there for the drainage addition of $28,800 is to cover installing a secondary drainage line down Washington Street to take all the new drainage that was not incorporated in the original design. Late last year, HWC did a drainage study of that area, which has been a known drainage issue area along Washington Street, and parking lots and all the way through there. This new additional line that we put in will help improve that drainage